Welcome back to the channel. Still fighting a little bit of a cold, but that's not going to stop us from framing as much as we can this week. We did get a couple things done framing-wise last video, but this video I want to frame out not only the master bedroom, but also the bathroom. So I do have a large order of 2x4s coming tomorrow, but with that being said, I did stop at Lowe's just to grab a few others this morning. That way I could at least get a head start and get another wall done. So let's jump right into it. Actually, before we get into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to ShopVac for sending me their Whisper Series vacuum. They reached out and wanted to know if I could use it for the build, and of course you'll see in this video I did make a huge mess, but also I'm going to need it when I decide to seal the concrete. The one thing I was so surprised about with this being their Whisper Series, I'm not even kidding, this is quieter than a normal at-home vacuum. I did not expect it to be this quiet, and also the suction is obviously fantastic. So I'm really excited to use it, more of the build, and you're going to see it much more in videos coming up. So again, just a huge shout out to them, and thank you so much. This did not go as well as planned, but if you didn't watch last video, the reason why I didn't connect the bottom plate to this is because you can see in the middle of the frame, that's where the water line is, so I actually had to do this to make sure it actually fit in place. It wasn't pretty, but I did make it work. It didn't go in perfectly, but it's pretty strong in here. I still need to add blocking all the way across. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to empty my car, and I'm actually going to pick up the tub insert. The reason why I want to do that is rather than kind of guessing with measuring and everything, I can actually put it in here, and then because there is eventually actually going to be a closet right here that will butt up, that'll be the back of the shower, I can pretty much use that as a tool for measuring to put those walls up. Let me clean out my car and let's take a ride to Lowe's. All right, let's get this bad boy unboxed. The main reason why I did pick this up and I wanted to see it in person is because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to frame this area right here against this. So I'm actually not going to frame this area right here. I'm going to push it against it and then frame obviously right here. So it's just a little area. I could probably connect some wood off of this right here so that way there is something to drill into when it comes to the board before I tile. So with that said, I'm actually going to pack it up for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. The next morning I got there pretty early, and I was waiting for my Lowe's order of all of the wood, and I figured I had some time to kill, and one thing I was putting off was putting this extra asphalt in the area that I needed to. Last time we got some rain, there was a little bit of pooling over there, so while we still had some nice weather, I wanted to make sure I got all of that down. After I spread it out, I just tamped it down a little bit, and it was good to go. And luckily, shortly after I finished this, the Lowe's order stopped by. Thank you. So this is a good wood delivery. We are ready to take care of all of the framing in the building here. So let me get some of this stuff inside, and let's start knocking out some more framing today. Woo. That's my lovely neighbor. All right, the reason why I'm just pushing this stuff in front is that way we can close the garage door. All right, so now I will be able to close the garage door. Where did I put my, did I put it down on here? Yeah, I did. I gotta get better with that. So we got some 2x16s. This is actually gonna be what we're gonna use on the first wall that we're gonna do today. And I guess this is the first angle I've ever put outside of the garage, so you can actually see how close I am to the road. Here's the 2x16, or 2x12, 2x12 by 16 for this garage door. And this piece of wood is not light. What? Then I got a 2x12 by 10. This is for the other garage door, which I do have someone coming to properly release the spring. I had a commenter way back when talk about how dangerous it is to take those springs off. So I did hire out someone to come and do that. This one's a little bit more expensive, so I think we're gonna take care of this one first and then do the larger garage door. Okay, so after creating this mess, we should be able to close this garage door now. Okay. Like I mentioned, I got a lot of organizing to do, but let's get some of these pieces off and put it into a wall. So of course, as I was cutting these pieces, I knocked over my tripod that had my camera on it and also has the attachment for the microphone. And just like last time when it fell over, it broke. It broke this time too. So the rest of the video, we're going to have to do some voiceovers here. But for the time being, definitely enjoy me putting together this wall. Do is just center this. I should just do it to the end of the wall. You can see how bowed this piece is on camera, but hopefully maybe getting this in here will get it a little bit closer.
When I started the next wall here, I wanted to make sure that the leftmost beam right there was a little bit lower than the next beam. The reason for that is because I actually wanted it to be below the beam that goes across the entire building here. So what I was doing right here is just doing a little bit of a test fit with these two pieces here, and you'll see in a second that I did raise it up and did confirm that it did fit in there okay. After I was able to do that, I then was able to cut out the rest of the pieces that I needed and then bring everything in and fit it to place. When you see me put this together, I didn't have a top plate long enough. I ordered all that wood and needed to go back to Lowe's and pick something else up. So what I ended up doing is I put everything together, and then the next morning I picked up that piece, and then you'll see me in different clothes working on finishing that wall. When I went to lift this into place, the plan was to actually pull it back a little bit towards the door, just because I still needed to mark everything out. I think I got a little bit excited to build my first wall with a door here, so I did kind of struggle a little bit to pull it back, but eventually temporarily secured it. I put a chalk line down, and then I eventually got it squared to the space that it needed to be. If you do notice, I actually have it a little bit farther away from the door than a typical hallway. The reason for that, I'm actually decided to do a 60-inch hallway compared to maybe the typical 36 or 48. The main reason for that is I actually am going to build a locker space. So I am a big golfer. I really enjoy golfing, and I figured that would be a pretty cool spot to put all of my equipment right by the back door. Once I finally lifted this wall into place, the measurements that I had, I knew were not going to be perfect because the beam was probably sagging a little bit from over time, so it wasn't perfectly straight across the building. So once I got it into place, I did need to hammer it in a little bit in a few places, but I ended up getting a really tight fit and getting it pretty square and level, or I should say plumb. And then after I hammered it in, leveled it out, I then nailed everything in and used the cement nailer to secure it to the floor as well. After I finished that, I was getting ready to work on the bathroom walls, and so what I am doing with both of the drains for the washing machine as well as the sink is that those are going to go into the middle of the walls. So what I am doing here is I am boring out a hole. I have a 2¼ inch, it might be 2½ inch drill bit there to make sure I could get all the way through. And then once those were out and I fit those in, I was able to slide them right through the pipes, and we were ready to put in the next walls the following day. Just like the first wall that I put in the beginning of the video, because I had to go around these drains, I then had to secure the walls with that plate already in. So rather than doing what I did in the beginning of the video with securing them all together and then lifting them up, it obviously didn't go super great. I tried a different approach. Again, this is my first time framing, so I had a feeling I had to get creative because I don't know all of the tricks of the trade. But I thought to attach both of these studs on the far left and the far right, attach the top, and then bring all of the interior studs in after that. It was a little bit wobbly in the beginning, but then as everything went along, I was able to secure everything pretty well, and it ended up working out. For the left wall, I did a different approach, which was to secure all of the bottom plates before I secured the top, and that way I wasn't going up and down the ladder for each stud, and it ended up being a little bit easier and was a little bit quicker actually as well. For the final wall, I did put the doorway a little bit towards the right side, and then it's actually going to open towards the left. The reason for that is the washer and dryer is actually going to be on the left side of the bathroom, and I figured the vanity is going to be much more better looking than the washer dryer when you walk in, so I wanted the door to actually hide the washer dryer for any guests that do come in. And most of the time, too, the door is going to be open anyway. And eventually, I will also build out a nice cabinet for the washer dryer. But I figured for the time being, I do want that door to open towards the washer dryer to hide it as you walk into the bathroom. After I secured the bottom of the wall with the cement nailer, I then put in 2 temporary supports on either side just to hold the wall in place until I get the beams that are going to go across for the ceiling there. I then put in some final pieces of wood and finished everything up. I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. It really changed the space, and if you've gotten this far, I really appreciate it. Leave a comment, leave a like, and definitely let me know how I did, if there's anything I can improve on. I know I have to put blocking on every single stud here, but that'll be something that I'll probably do all at once. So, like I said, I'm pretty happy with the job I did, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.